Welcome, Freelance Business Week. It is Michaela Lark coming to you today. It's Austin's opening day. I am so excited. I have different people lined up for you to talk about Austin, the greatness, but our main focus is health and wellness. Yesterday, you got a chance to see the panel with diversity and inclusiveness. Today, just for the opening day, we're just only going to take 25 minutes of your time and discuss health and wellness and how it pertains to freelancers as well as Austin. The one thing when I first came to Austin that I noticed was how many people are into fitness. You can find a gym all over Austin and the surrounding areas. That made my heart so happy. On top of the health part, as far as food and mental health. Like people are really into meditations here. I'm constantly running into people that they find different, I get to find different avenues of how to better take care of myself. Just like Michelle Baker said on Tuesday, you need to put your oxygen mask on first before going to others. You cannot be empty without filling up so that you do have something to give. One thing you all know is me as a coach and being the procrastinators coach. I know a lot about procrastinating and procrastinating into putting my health on the back burner. And it's not always good, but in the freelance world, we can get so caught up into the day to day daily task, the day to day checklist, and say, oh, I'll get to it. I'll get to that workout, or I'll get to that meditation, or I'll get to that eating healthy. But we end up letting it push off sometimes from day to day when a lot of times, actually, I'm willing to say all the time, the more that we prioritize our health and wellness, the better our bodies, our mental state, the way we think, our ideals, because as freelancers, we're very creative. So our ideals get better. Our avenues, we start thinking of different ways of connecting with our clients and with our network. So these are a lot of reasons of why health and wellness is important for freelancers. Even with, again, I'm a life coach, but I'm also a fitness trainer. So I train personal training as well as group training, all different types. I am that person that I need that multiple avenue of actually doing different workouts and giving those workouts to my clients. And I love how Austin really provides that. There's so much that we can say about Austin. The food is great. Austin, when I first got here too, that Austin, you can go to a different restaurant every single day and you still would not hit all of the restaurants. Austin, the people are super friendly. Like I was blown away of how friendly the people were. Now you also have to realize I'm from the Northeast originally. So it's a whole different type of friendliness here. And the people are just amazing. They make it just, you want to be healthy here. You want to go out for a hike or go for a swim in Barton's Creek, or you want to, as far as hiking, you can go to Walnut Creek Park, and there's so many other, a plethora of different areas of hiking, as well as secret beaches here. Even though I know we're in Central Texas, it's secret beaches, as well as different locations just to be with the kids, to be with family, all of that. So I'm about to bring on people who are freelancers here in Austin who are also going to discuss how health and wellness pertains to them and how it also will help increase the productivity for other freelancers. So, to start out, I am going to introduce Shawn. Hi, Shawn. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you this morning?
I'm great. Welcome aboard. Shawn, she is in a process of transitioning. She is a coach. Her and I went through similar trainings for our coaching certifications, and
Mhm.
she is amazing. Now she's transitioning into the cooking world. Tell me more about that, Shawn.
So I am actually, so I'll still be coaching.
Mhm.
I spent a lot of time, just for a quick background, I worked for the Pentagon for a long time. I was in corporate coaching, so I know all about that corporate life. And then I transitioned out of service and out of corporate coaching into a more freelance lifestyle, seeing individual clients myself as a consultant for startups. And I realized how unhealthy the industry can be when you're on your own and you're really trying to grind and hustle it out. So what I wanted to do to kind of address this was bring people back together, because I've noticed a couple of trends um, plaguing the community right now. And I think plague is an appropriate word considering what's happening. We are not taking good care of ourselves. We're not coming to the table. We're not tapping into those most basic, instinctual, primitive needs where we need to sit at a table, sit around the fire together, be in community, eat together, and have conversations. So I'm bringing culinary experiences and coaching together to bridge gaps for communities and people and get you connected to yourself, to your core, and to each other. So it's been a really interesting experience, especially right now in the midst of a pandemic where we're experiencing a lot of isolation, we're experiencing a lot of fatigue, just mental fatigue and physical fatigue. A lot of people lost access to their gyms or the way that they normally stay fit. So coming up with alternative ways to tap into that has been a real learning experience for me. So I'm really excited about this next chapter of my coaching journey.
Fantastic, Shawn. Thank you so much. Do not exclude me with the cooking. I'm a foodie, so I want to be included.
Absolutely.
I'll be your taste tester. All
Yeah.
right, next up, we have Sylvia. Sylvia is a keynote speaker, author, and coach. She specializes in turning points in leadership. As a conscious entrepreneur, she is passionate about helping professional women who find themselves at a crossroads navigate change with more clarity and purpose. She has written articles detailing her process on transition and currently writing her first ever, y'all, first book. Like, I'm so excited. I've been hearing about this book for the past couple of months. I'm so excited. I cannot wait until I get to read it on how turning points are life changing. Welcome, Sylvia. How are you?
I'm doing fabulous. How are you guys doing?
I am good. So tell me more about like what you are doing and why.
I do, as a conscious entrepreneur, I've made it my mission to validate, motivate, and encourage empowerment in women, in specific to women, professional women that are, like you explained, at a crossroads, so they can navigate change with more clarity and purpose. And the reason why I do it and why I'm so passionate about it is because I myself, for many, many years, was in survival mode. I
Mm,
was proving my worth because deep down I didn't feel enough for many,
mm,
many years. So I've been where they're at right now. And I've navigated there with more courage and faith and trust in that internal source of that voice, that higher self. So it's really been a life changing event to go through COVID. COVID has probably been the biggest turning point of most people's lives now. It came in at a very opportune time for me. And God kind of prompted me in that direction of writing my book, of how I turned my pain into empowerment, how I went from victim to empowered state. And I hope to be able to do that in helping women out that find themselves in similar circumstances, to do it with more clarity, with more purpose, so they can create a life that they love, and in turn they can model that for their children, which is extremely important in our world right now, is how we model to our children. So I'm very, very passionate about that. And that's why I do what I do.
I love it. I love it, Sylvia. Oh, I can't wait to read that book. Thank you so much for joining, Sylvia. Give me one moment. And next up is Emily. Emily Leach. She is joining us. Like, if y'all don't know who Emily is by now, I don't know why. Because she's the reason why we're all here this week. Thank you, Emily, for joining and participating. So tell us more about what it is that you do and why.
Oh, sometimes I do wonder about the why part, but so I am on this crazy journey of kind of collecting freelancers. You know what I mean? Pulling us all together the best I can into a community. We've decided to call it Mighty Freelance Network. And so for a bunch of reasons. One is I find that in this whole conversation about what are some of the things we're doing right now to keep us healthy, to keep us sane, there's a long list of words we could put in there. And one of them is community and having a place that's engaged. I've been really enjoying watching the new members come in over this week because it is free to join the Mighty Freelance Network and have them give me some feedback on this is what would make this network really awesome. So I started out with as you're probably aware of the group in Austin called Austin Freelance Gigs. It's on Facebook. Mm-hmm. It is very specific to Austin. And so we have just over 11,000 people in there. But the first few months of doing that back in 2014 is what kind of instigated all of this. I've been a freelancer since 92, so none of that's new to me. But I found that it was really fun and exciting to hear what other people were struggling with. I mean, not exciting. It's like going, oh gosh, you're struggling, but exciting in that people felt safe enough to say, I don't know how to do this, or I'm struggling with this. And then there was other freelancers that was willing to come in and say, oh, well, here's what I did, or let's just jump on the phone. I'd be so happy to talk through that with you and tell you what I shared. So instead of creating very designated mentorship relationships, which I know can work, this almost works better. So that's what we're building in Mighty Freelance Network on top of just gathering us. My tagline, which I know you've seen, is we're stronger together. Yeah. So not just because we literally can lean on each other and get help and even just have a place to vent. That can be super, super helpful. But there's work in the policy space that needs to be done. There's work in pre-negotiating rates so that we can get better rates on stuff. All of that kind of stuff we need numbers to do that. And we need people that not just, I can go hire somebody and probably get 10,000 people tomorrow, but that's not what I'm looking to do. I'm looking for people that will say, hey, I really would love this particular platform to be more affordable. Okay, well, do we have 200 other people in the group that need that as well? Okay, so then I can go to that group and say, okay, I have 200 people that would or could use your platform better if it was more affordable. And we can maybe even set our price rate. We need it to be here. And maybe we get it, maybe we don't. But we're not going to get it onesie twosie. We definitely need numbers. So that's the mission of that. And one of the other things that I particularly have done over the last few years is, we created the freelance conference. Next year will be our sixth, actually the seventh year, but the sixth year doing it this year had to be virtual. We did that in April. And then, so that'll be in Denver, September 12th through the 14th. And we're going to kick that off on my son's birthday. So that will have a momentous event for me. And it being the seventh year is awesome. We got Freelance Business Week that launched actually 3 years ago out of the freelance conference. Yeah. And we have the community, we have the Freelancer's Guide to Life podcast. So I've spent a lot of time building stuff because I understood, or I could see that in order to get anyone's attention, but in this case, a freelance business owner's attention, is you needed to be in the space and in the medium that they were at the moment. And so we kind of got all those collected. And the last but not least, I just want to point out my clock back here. It's actually broken. And so what I did was I set it to 5 o'clock. So it's always 5 o'clock here.
Yes. I like it. I like it. Yes. That takes me back to my military days. Like, it's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Yes. In fact, we might be in that spot and we might not, but I'm always in that spot.
Yes.
So if you're looking for where it's 5 o'clock, just say it's always 5 o'clock in Emily's office.
Yes. Thank you so much, Emily. If y'all have not checked out mightyfreelancenetworking.com, definitely check it out. There's also an app, so absolutely check that
Thanks.
out.
Thank you very
Thank you
much.
so much, Emily. Stay tuned. And I have one last person to introduce. I mean, does he really need an introduction? This is my number one supporter. He also has been part of the team helping me on the Austin side for Freelance Business Week. I mean, he's just my world. My husband, Sam Lark. Welcome, Sam. You're muted.
Good morning, everyone.
So let me know what it is that you do and why.
So, I'm a public speaker and I speak on how to use social media to a point where you can build your personal brand and connect with people to where they know you so well that they refer you when opportunities come up. So, whether you're a freelance business owner or even a job seeker.
Oh, let me get unmuted. We're like in the same house, so we get that echo. So, is there anything else you would like to share with that social media as far as getting people to get either hired if they're looking for careers or getting more clients as far as freelancers?
Sure. So the reason why I did it in the beginning was because I was a job seeker. And the current role that I have, I earned it by the activities I did on Twitter and LinkedIn. And I utilized both platforms to showcase who I was. And at the end of the day, no matter if you're a job seeker or an entrepreneur, people like to do business with, people like to hire, like to, use the services of those they like, know, and trust. Well, in order for someone to like and trust you, they have to first get to know you. And that's where your personal brand comes in. You need to talk about who you are, why you do what you do, what makes you different, how do you stand out? Social media can fill in a gap there. And then on the other hand, we've all heard it's not what you do, it's not even who you know, but it's who knows you. In order for people to get to know you, you have to reach out, you have to give value. And oftentimes, people say, it's kind of hard to reach out to people I don't know on LinkedIn. Well, just start with something in common. If you're from the same area, I'm originally from Philly. So if anybody that's watching me, hear my voice, you talk about Rocky, the art museum, Philly cheesesteaks, we are going to be talking for a long time. Talking about commonalities, that's a great way to connect with people and then also figure out how you can add value to that person. Oftentimes on my social media, I just give tips and tricks, things away that have worked for me. For instance, on LinkedIn, you can send that personalized connection request, and I hope you're doing it with every connection request, putting a little message as to why you want to connect. Well, on some people's LinkedIn profile, they have their Twitter handle. Well, okay, you can go to Twitter, and if it has been used within the last month, hopefully, or year, send them a personalized tweet. Say, hey, I just sent you a LinkedIn connection request. I look forward to connecting. And I have a digital business card that I just attached to that just to give them a little more insight into who this is that's reaching out on Twitter. That's just another way of just making yourself stand out, because oftentimes on LinkedIn, we all know there's so many messages coming left and right, and you want to be able to go through all of that and to know who's going to be beneficial. Because at the end of the day, our time is, I think, the most precious commodity we have. And speaking as a married man, you want to make sure that you don't have your time just wasted by people. Is very precious.
Thank you so much, Sam. We really appreciate that. I was on mute, sorry. I am adding others because there's just really quick questions I want to ask. And anybody can jump in at any time. What is the importance of freelancers to incorporate health and wellness into their daily routines?
I'll jump in real quick. As you all know, I am a married man, right? Oftentimes when we talk about business, people say, yeah, separate your personal and your professional. Well, not quite. Your personal and your professional are always interlocked, because what happens in your personal life does affect your professional and vice versa. So therefore, in order for us to show up authentically, make sure that we're at the best of our game in both worlds, health and wellness is so important. For instance, myself, being connected to my lovely wife, she's a fitness trainer. Well, in order for her to look good, I need to look good. Who's going to hire her as a fitness
Yeah,
trainer
right.
if her husband doesn't look good, you know? So I started my own fitness journey. And for me, this is another thing. I'm big when it comes to public speaking, as you can see. I love it. But when it comes to dancing,
Oh, we need to change
not
that.
so much. However, thankfully, over the last 10 weeks, I've actually been doing Shawn T's, the guy who's on Insanity, his size. And I've been dancing and getting more, into it, and hopefully getting a little bit better with coordination, but it's definitely helped with my overall health and wellness, and hopefully one day helping with me taking my wife out on the dance floor. But it's definitely given me energy. It's allowed me to show up, like I said, authentically in my personal and professional. So for freelancers, health and wellness is the absolute must for you.
Can I add on to what Sam has said? Because I've done size and I love it. And there's an element that whether you do size or you do something else, I roll jujitsu here in Austin. And so one thing that I've learned by especially with the pandemic and now being able to safely roll jujitsu, if you are isolated, but you have family and you can do things like that where you can exercise and bond together, or you can play. It's almost like playing. It's like childlike again, where you get to play and you get to be active, you get to be physical. And that part of activating your brain in the physicality, in the physical sense, will help you to activate your brain also for business. It's going to tap into your creative brain. It's going to help you to become a little bit more tapped in and conscious about what your consumer needs, what they're looking for, because you're channeling and flowing and activating more things within you and connecting to the people that you care about. That helps you to connect to others, like what Sam was saying earlier. This is all about facilitating connection, especially if you're trying to build that client roster right now. So absolutely, Sam, I love that you're doing size. It makes Shawn T, there's something just so joy inspiring about him because of his approach. And when you can get a dose of that dopamine from exercise, fitness, and just general wellness with that bubbly personality, and do it with someone you love, the oyster can unlock for you. It becomes your pearl.
I love that. I love that, especially sharing that with family. That is fantastic.
Are we going to see a video of Shawn in social media dancing? I don't know. I'd love to see it.
Yeah.
Oh. Now we're talking.
I mean, Sam, excuse me, not Shawn, Sam.
Okay.
That would be
actually posted a video some time ago. I want to say it was about a month ago. He posted, or about a month and a half ago. He posted a video of him doing size. And he's good.
I will say I'm much better now. That was like week 3, 4. I'm on 10, so I'm much more coordinated now.
Yeah.
There's something to be said about that also. When you develop a skill like that, when you develop something physically that just boosts your confidence and makes you so much more willing to put yourself out there professionally. I know for a while I was playing small in my business, and it wasn't until I really started getting into weightlifting and fitness and jujitsu, and I started stacking wins in that space, that then I was like, you know what, as far as the business world goes, I can handle this. Like I can physically, if I can overcome these obstacles, then mentally this isn't going to be a thing. So there's something to be said about developing those skills and using that personal development in your business as a freelancer.
Yeah. And real quick, I want to hear from Emily as well as Sylvia. How do you feel it's important for freelancers to incorporate health and wellness in their daily routine?
Well, and I will tell you how to do it. I have 3 tips that I wanted to share very quickly on that, because health encompasses, we always think physical, but there's mental, emotional, and physical health incorporated here.
Yes.
The first tip I'll say is to incorporate a daily routine of meditation and prayer. And that is to quiet your mind so that you can tap into your higher self, the person that you were born to be, that purpose-driven person. And also so you can tap into your own internal source of happiness, because happiness exists inside of us. It's not outside of us in the external world. the second tip is to incorporate the gifts of detachment and self-love into your daily routine. And what I mean by that is when you encounter individuals that may not believe in your purpose in life as a freelancer, it impacts your energy. But when you detach and you incorporate boundaries with certain individuals in your life, you kind of take back your own power. And that helps your emotional health as well in your business. And third and lastly is, of course, the physical part of it, which is incorporating exercise, dance, like Sam talked about, and Shawn.
There you go.
All the moves. And, hydration is a big one. It's a big one, and sleep is too. And we oftentimes, we want to just keep working and pushing through the day, and we don't realize how much sleep actually impacts our energy, because remember that energy and time are our most valuable resources. And those are things we cannot get back. So when we take care of ourselves on a daily basis by incorporating mental, emotional, and physical tips, we're good to go. So that's my three things, the applicability of what I do every day.
And real quick, Emily.
I'm just going to reshare my one tip, and that is to find a clock that you really love and break it and just set it to 5 o'clock all the time.
I like it. I like it. Yes.
And then second, I would like Sam to show us some moves.
Oh, he will. He will. And real quick, 30 seconds or less, each person. What is your number one favorite thing about Austin?
30 seconds. The
30
people.
seconds.
Northeast. We're from Philly. So, you got to look over your shoulder. Is this person going to, mug me? Here? They will get out their car and be like, okay, yeah, you take the lane in front of me. So I love the people here, without a doubt.
And actually in Austin, if you were going to be doing the mugging, the person would get out and say, do you need some help with that? Just saying.
Yes, they would. They would.
Sorry, carry on.
I personally love the nature that I find all around me, because in my exercise routine got thrown like up in the air. And so now I take walks with my kids, and the nature I find, like encountering deer, has been awesome. In my neighborhood. That's what I love.
I love the nature here. It's amazing. Shawn, 30 seconds.
30 seconds. So I'm an old school Austinite, and a lot has changed over time. One thing I'll say is that I love the community of Austin. So exactly what you're saying, you can see people from completely different walks of life come together here. And I am hopeful that what used to be the core of keeping Austin weird, which was each of us being uniquely individual but embracing each other, will continue, especially as we're getting this new influx of people. So I love that about Austin, is that it's really a big city, but it's a small town. We've got that small town vibe, if you want.
And Emily.
It would be the people, but specifically for me, the freelance community here. I have never been in a city, and I've lived in a lot of them over my tenure, and I've never been in one where the community just came together, and because we had this common thread of running a freelance business. Again, I go back to Austin Freelance Gigs that I started. I think we're creeping up on 12,000 people in that group, and it's all organic. And that's just people. They have to live in and around Austin. So people are like going, oh, there's plenty of groups that have 20,000, 30,000 people. I said, no, not all in one city.
Mm-hmm.
So we've done a lot. And seeing that community, watching that community build each other, and it's all governed by the community. And see it grow like that was the inspiration that took me to building all of this other stuff. And without that, I probably wouldn't be sitting here doing this. So thank you guys very much as a city.
Thank you all. I love Austin. For me, it's the community, it's the people, it's the freelancers, it's the food, it's everything. I just really mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, it has been completely a game changer for me being here in Austin. Thank you so much to everybody who joined, Emily, Sylvia, Shawn, and Sam. Thank you for joining, making this special. We're about to get joined with Julie Cortez and finding Confidence. Woo! I'm
Now
telling you, my brain is going. So thank you so much. Y'all have a great day. Continue to enjoy the Freelance Business Week. See you.
Bye.